Boom! Today I'm teaching you how to make a virgin basil mojito. Let's get into it. Making a good mocktail isn't actually as easy as you think it might be. It's not as simple as just taking out the alcohol components to a cocktail. A lot of times the ingredients you use in a cocktail are meant to curb and blend with some of the stingier parts of the alcohol components. So when you're using things like simple syrups or citrus juices, a lot of times if you don't use something in place of the alcohol, the resulting mocktail will come out to be really, really sweet or really, really tart. I'm going to teach you a trick that I use to balance some of these flavors a little better, and then you'll have a good mocktail to pull out of your quiver anytime you have someone who is looking to have a more adult experience at your bar or restaurant but doesn't drink alcohol. What we're making today is a virgin basil mojito. Now, the reason I use basil as opposed to mint is one, it's delicious, but two, a lot of people who are ordering this for the first time know what a mojito tastes like with the rum, so it already has an identity. By using something that they're not as familiar with, this will have its own identity, and they will come to think of it as a drink in and of itself, not a lesser version of a thing that already exists. So first, just take a little bit of your simple syrup and put it at the bottom of a shaker. Then take, I don't know, depending on how big your leaves of basil are, I'm going to take 3 right here and put them in the shaker, and then I'm going to take my muddler and just begin to crush them up. Now once they're sufficiently muddled, you're going to want to take some simple syrup and some lime juice. How much exactly is going to depend on your glassware and how strong you make your simple syrup, but I'm going to use equal parts, and I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce for myself. Now you're going to add the ingredient that's taking the place of the alcohol. You're going to want to use something that isn't crazy sweet and often has a bitter component to it. For that reason, I like to use tonic water. Now you can use overbrewed iced tea or some ginger beer or maybe even a dash of coffee. I wouldn't use it in this particular cocktail, but there are applications for it. But I'm using tonic water both because it'll mesh well with this cocktail and also because you can find it pretty much at any bar in existence. I'm pouring a little bit over an ounce in there, and I absolutely realize you're not supposed to shake a carbonated thing, but we're not using it for its carbonation, we're using it for its bitter making properties. Now we're going to add some ice, and we're going to shake the snot out of it. You really want to break up the leaves of that basil. Once you've shaken that enough and you've really broken up the basil leaves, you'll take a glass, fill it with ice, and then strain the contents over the fresh ice. You can definitely double strain this if you like, but I like to only single strain it so you get a little bit of those leaf particles in the cocktail itself. Like I said before, a lot of these flavors are going to be pretty strong, so you're going to want to thin it out with a little bit of soda water. Drop in your straw, give it a little spin, and then garnish it with all the green stuff you have in the bar. I'm using a leaf of basil, a lime wedge, and a cucumber. Perfect. Cheers. Oh yeah, that is tasty.